Hey, it's Mr. Smith, and in this video I will be going over the syllabus. So when you come into our course and you click on the syllabus link in the blue ribbon, or you can come down here and click on the syllabus link here. You can also do it over here. And notice this is where my video is going to be. This is another link to the same syllabus as the one I showed you just a second ago, and this tells you a little bit more about what a syllabus is if you're new to college. And so I'm going to go ahead and click here and we'll go over the syllabus. I just want to hit all the key things that are most important for students and the things that I would say are pretty important, things like grades. So you can see this is college algebra, math 1314 is how we label it. The thing that makes us unique from all the other college algebra courses is this is section 427. Let's see, my name is Scott Smith. Notice I only have one T in my first name, and so my nickname is actually 1T. And so let's see, we have email address is Scott Smith. Again, notice Scott is with 1T and there's no space there, and that's at dallascollege.edu. My office at Brookhaven is J127. My phone number is 972-677-8940. And normally I'm pretty good about getting back pretty quickly. We're supposed to, when people send an email, we're supposed to respond within 24 hours, and normally I'm quite a bit faster than that. But sometimes things get crazy. I'll look at your email and I don't have time to answer it, and I forget to come back to it. So if it's ever more than 24 hours, please send me another email and I will be apologetic and I will get right back to you. But again, normally I'm pretty good about that. As far as office hours are concerned, these are for you, and please don't hesitate to take advantage of them. That's what they're designed for. They're for the student. My office hours, I used to have a set time for online students, but it just didn't work because it's hard to meet everybody's schedule needs. So I just do it individually, just by appointment. So you can call me at my phone or send me an email and we can figure out a time to meet. You can always call me and know that I'm going to answer, or there's a good chance during my office hours, which again I'll put in here. If you ever want to come to the campus and meet me or meet for some help, here's a map of Brookhaven and you can see where I'm located. Now I'm a little confused about this next one, the withdrawal date and the certification date. What's in here is automatically populated. I didn't put it in there. But if you look at the actual semester schedule, the dates are one day earlier. So 11/13 and 9/8. So I don't know who's going to win this one, but just keep in mind I'll have to make a comment about that later so you know when those dates are. So if you want to know more about this course, this is a description. These are state-defined learning outcomes. These are the things you should get out of the course. Texas core objectives, you're going to see those on all of your syllabi, and basically these are the kinds of skills we want to see you improve here at the college. Things like critical thinking skills, communication skills, and so on. These are all great things. You know, if once you get out in the real world, you're going to find that these are the kind of skills that companies value. And so I encourage you to work on all these kinds of things. For example, I know people in the real world complain students are coming out of college and they're not good communicators. So that's something to work on when you're in college. It's important that you can relate to other students, maybe even have some leadership skills. Those are the kinds of things that are important to develop as much as possible. Okay, so college algebra, this is the book we're using. Um, we have what's called the Include program. So when you pay for this course, your book, or in our case, it's MyLab Math. It's an online program in which you're going to be doing all your homework. Um, I've got a description here. Textbook-based software where you're going to complete your assignments. Must have access to a computer with internet access to complete the required work. And then it tells you how to get started in my math lab. So students automatically get this unless they opt out of what we call the Include program. You know, in the past, you might have been able to get a better deal, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So I highly encourage you not to do that. Normally what happens is if you don't get things taken care of, then sometime during the semester you lose access to my math lab and you can't do any assignments. So anyway, I just encourage you to not opt out. This is as far as graphing calculator, the TI-84 is the calculator I'll be using in class, and that's the one I would like you to have if possible. It's not included as part of the Include program, so you'll have to get one on your own. In the past, students could borrow them from the library for the semester. They don't do that anymore, but you can check them out for a day and return them. And so that is an option. You can go online and get creative and find maybe a used one and save yourself some money. But we will be using that in this course, and it is a requirement. Let's talk about homework. Notice it's 10% of your grade. Basically, the nice thing about my math lab is, you know, you're going to get immediate feedback when you're doing homework. When you put in your answer, you get a wrong answer, normally you're going to get access to a detailed solution. However, that being said, I really encourage you to keep a notebook or something that you do your work in. So then, for one, that helps you to learn the material, writing things out. And like, let's say you get to the quiz, now it's on 3 sections. You can go back and look at your notes and study a little bit and then take the quiz. And so anyway, I think it's an important part of preparing for the tests, well, the quizzes or tests. You know, I know when I used to take notes, I would make a note of things I had questions about before I took the test, things I wanted to look back at more and practice. So those are the kinds of things that you want to do in your notes. For the quizzes, again, you're normally going to be tested on, you know, 2 or 3 sections. And notice you can take each quiz up to 2 times. Basically, you're getting practice for the test, so you can kind of see how you're doing. If you're having to use your notes, then I would say you're not ready to take the test. I would encourage you to maybe try to do the quiz without your notes. You do get 2 tries, and maybe if you know, take it again after the second or after the first attempt. If you have to use your notes, but just keep in mind that's an indication that you're still not ready for the test. If you ever want more attempts, let me know. Just normally I don't want you to spend too much time, but I can give you more attempts. The tests, notice there's 4 tests that are 60% of your grade. Notice you can only take them once. For students that average 80% or better on the homework, I will replace your lowest test score with what you get on the final. So if you have a bad test, that's your out. Maybe it's a student, I've had students shooting for an A, they got a B or a low C, or just a low grade on one test, and so that enabled them to still get that grade A or B that they were getting outside of that test. Notice we do have a final that's 20% of your grade. Here's your course calendar. You can see what you're going to be doing each week. Again, I will make announcements each week to just kind of remind you what's due, but it's all right here. But if I make any changes or there's anything else going on that I need to bring up, then I'll put that in those announcements. Notice your first test is not till week 4. And anyway, I also will send you an Excel document that has this, because this doesn't print out very well. It's kind of nice to have that as you're doing your homework. Unexpected class changes. If anything changes, I'll notify you of that through eCampus and also email. I forgot to change this before making this video. Basically, what did we say? You have until September 9th, according to what's in here. And that's when I have to certify that you're participating in the course. So basically, the first week's assignments need to be completed in order, with an average of 70%, in order for me to indicate that you're participating in the course. Again, I'll put this in later so you can always come back and look at it. But it's just really what's due the first week has to be done by the second week in order for me to certify you as attending. So again, I'll fix this later. As far as late work's concerned, quizzes, first thing I would say is, if you want to commit to one thing, I would say, because you want to be successful, commit to getting your homework and quizzes done on time. By doing that, you're going to have plenty of time, or more time anyway, to study for the test. A lot of times, students that don't do well on the test, they ran out of time getting homework and quizzes done. And so, that's why I say it's so important. You will get a 25% deduction for late assignments. Notice you can't go back and do assignments once you've taken the test. So after test 1, you can't go back and do assignments from chapters 1 and 2. So you do get 20, partial credit, but not after the test. As far as, if for some reason you miss a test due to some kind of emergency or something that came up, please contact me right away. And, if it seems reasonable, I'll give you an opportunity to take the test. But normally you should be getting the test taken on time. These are some important contacts that you want to be familiar with. You should look those over. Also, if you've never looked at the institutional policies, you should do that. Make sure you know what they are. Things about cheating, harassment, I don't know, there's quite a bit of stuff there. But anyway, that's about it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. And again, I want to make sure you know what you're getting yourself into and you know what to expect. That's it for this video.